This week, we've reached the penultimate episode of my themed shows looking at the films of John Hughes. I know, 4 films is barely scratching the surface of his catalogue, but it is possible to have too much of a good thing. I have plans for other themed episodes in the works, so stay tuned for more interesting angles on 80s music. This week, it's the ultimate boys' own adventure, with a wildly eclectic soundtrack. Indeed, I had a hard time picking just one song from this film. Of course, I am talking about Ferris Bueller's Day Off, my personal favourite John Hughes film, and deeply loved by its fans. So we're going to take a look at the many musical moments that make this one of the best soundtracks ever. So, get ready to barf up a lung and eat some pancreas as we look at another 80s song of the day. Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. So begins the philosophy on which Ferris Bueller's Day Off is founded.
How could I possibly be expected to handle school on a day like this?
The film follows its titular character as he sneaks a day off school and gathers his closest friends, girlfriend Sloane and best buddy Cameron, for a day of adventure in Chicago. Chicago was John Hughes' hometown since about the age of 12, and it's where a large majority of his films are set. This one is notable for Ferris's fourth wall break, speaking directly to the camera, something that was rarely done back then, but modern cinema goers are more used to it since the Deadpool movies became such hits.
This is my 9th sick day this semester. It's getting pretty tough coming up with new illnesses. If I go for 10, I'm probably going to have to barf up a lung. So I better make this one count.
On the surface, it's a movie about Ferris enjoying the day off with his friends and outwitting the cartoonish villain Dean Edward Rooney.
I did not achieve this position in life by having some snot-nosed punk leave my cheese out in the wind.
On subsequent rewatches, it becomes clear that Ferris is merely the catalyst for the true story, which is really about the growth into adulthood and responsibility of his friend Cameron. Cameron is a hypochondriac with an unhappy home life, neglectful parents, and probably abusive father. With the end of high school approaching, Ferris sets out to bring Cameron out of his shell and set him on a path to be self-sufficient so that he can stand on his own when they part ways to go to college and onto their respective careers. And there are hints that without this happening, Cameron may have ended up on a much darker path.
I realized it was ridiculous, being afraid, worrying about everything, wishing I was dead. I'm tired of it.
Along the way, many things fall into place through either luck or elaborate scams to ensure that they make it through the day uncaught and unscathed. Well, kinda. But I won't spoil it for you if you haven't seen the film. And this takes us back to that foundational philosophy. Life moves pretty fast. You've got to stop and look around once in a while or you could miss it. They get away with a lot of things that they do because Ferris either notices things that others don't, or those that could catch him out aren't paying attention when they should be. Now the soundtrack, as I said, is wildly eclectic. If we were to leave out the obviously non-80s songs like Danke Shoen by Wayne Newton, there's an excerpt from the Star Wars theme, and the Beatles singing Twist and Shout, the rest of it includes Sigue Sputnik's Love Missile F-111, Beat City by the Flowerpot Men, 2 tracks by the Dream Academy, namely Edge of Forever and an instrumental cover of the Smiths song Please, Please, Please Let Me Get What I Want. We've got Oh Yeah by Swiss Duo Yello, Bad by Big Audio Dynamite, and March of the Swivelheads by The Beat. The genres cover post-punk, new wave, electronica, ska, pop, and more. John Hughes actually refused to release a soundtrack album, which made label A&M furious. They begged him to put one out, but Hughes felt the collection wouldn't work well together as a continuous album. He said, "Who'd want all of these songs? I mean, would kids want Danke Shoen and Oh Yeah on the same record?" In 2016, a limited edition, and I mean limited edition soundtrack was released by La La Land Records. Just 5,000 copies were pressed and included most of the songs as well as the score written by Ira Newborn. Twist and Shout, Taking the Day Off, and March of the Swivelheads were not included due to licensing restrictions, but they are available elsewhere. I found a YouTube clip where someone has assembled all the songs, again except for Twist and Shout due to copyright and licensing issues, and I'll put that one in the description. But what to choose as the song of the day? That's the question. Please, Please, Please comes at a really pivotal moment in the film, but I think it's too soon to be dipping back into the Smiths catalogue just yet. Oh Yeah is a classic, but I feel it's already very well known to most people. You can't look at a Ferrari and not hear Oh Yeah in your head.
The 1961 Ferrari 250 GT California. Less than 100 were made. My father spent 3 years restoring this car. It is his love, it is his passion.
It is his fault he didn't lock the garage.
Instead, I'm going to recommend Bad by Big Audio Dynamite. Fusing rock, punk, reggae and hip-hop, Big Audio Dynamite was formed in London by Mick Jones, the former guitarist and co-vocalist with The Clash. They had a UK, US, Australia and New Zealand #1 with the song Rush in 1991. Bad was the B-side to their single The Bottom Line, which did moderately well in Australasia, especially in the club scene, but thanks to its inclusion in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, it is probably as well known as any of their other singles from the 80s. So there you have it, Bad by Big Audio Dynamite. That's your 80s song of the day. I hope you like it. Let me know if you think Bad is good, and I hope to see you next week for another 80s song of the day.